Hi and welcome to the Knitterarium Podcast. My name is Ruth and this knitting podcast is coming to you from Westmeath in Ireland where I live. This is episode 2 and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are a new to me viewer, I hope you enjoy this and welcome. I'd like to start off this episode by saying a huge big thank you to anyone who got in touch with me after the last episode or left a comment. It was lovely to hear from you and it was very encouraging. I know I was just as nervous, if not more, posting the episode than I was recording it. Today is Sunday, the 30th of October, and the places you can find me are on Instagram. I'm the most active there, and you can find me on Instagram as Knitterarium. I also have a Ravelry group where you'll be able to find the show notes for this episode and you'll find them down below as well. The Ravelry group is Knitterarium. You'll be able to find myself on Ravelry as Celtic-Knits. The sections I have for you today are my Happy Feet section, through the wardrobe. I have a small amount for treasure trove. I have a design corner, and I also have a stitching section that I'll be introducing today called A Stitch in Time. I was far too nervous the last day to mention that I do a lot of other crafts as well, not just knitting. I crochet and I stitch, to name just a few, and they'll probably feature in the podcast as and when I'm doing them. So I think we'll get started with the Happy Feet section. The last day I was showing you my toe-up socks. I'm using Nathan of the Sockmatician, his pattern, and I was this is the second sock. I knit my socks concurrently on dpns, and the last day I had just the toe of this sock done. I've since knit the foot and the gusset increases, and I've turned the heel and knit the heel flap, and it's ready now just for the leg section. The yarn I'm using for this is Nora George. That's my needle gone. I'm using Nora George's yarn it's her high twist. It's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon in her Jack Skellington colourway. This is the second sock. This sock, the last day was as far as here, and I have also the gusset increases and the heel turn and heel flap knit on these, so they're both now ready for the leg. I'm knitting these on my Knit Pro Zings 2.25s. I normally knit my socks cuff down 2 at a time, concurrently as well, but I wanted to give Nathan's toe up pattern a go and see how it was. It's a really enjoyable pattern, so it is, and it's a really enjoyable knit. Most of the knitting on these happens when I'm doing school runs in the car, and it's just a plain vanilla sock. I'm really enjoying this pattern, so I am. I'm not sure whether I would whether it would convert me to toe up socks, but I think it would definitely, if I were to knit toe up socks, it would become my go-to pattern. That's all I can say about those. That's as far as they are. I did mean to say as well that I know some of you have had some sound issues, and I am working on that, so if you just bear with me, we'll get that sorted, so we will. The last day as well, I did show you I had caked up this glass case of Emotion yarn by Green Elephant Yarns. This was part of a kit that I got. Now I hadn't decided at the time on what pattern I was going to knit with it, and I had been looking at it, and I went for a stash dive to see if I could find something that would go with it for heels, toes and cuffs, and I found this. It's a Schoppel Wolle Admiral in kind of like kind of a denim blue colour, and I think it'll complement it. I have decided on the pattern for this. I'm going to knit the cobblestone socks by Mina Phillips. I have knit the pebble socks, and they're a great fit. So they are. So I'm going to try out the next pattern in her Beyond Vanilla in these cobblestone socks. I'm going to knit those with that. That's what the plan is for that. I'll be knitting those on my ChiaoGoo's dpns again, and I'll knit them concurrently. That's those. I will, in each of my sections, rather than breaking down works in progress and finished objects, I'll just show both as well as what I'm planning to knit in each section, so you'll know. That's all I have in Happy Feet. I don't have any finished objects at the minute. Hopefully the next time I'll be finished those toe-up socks. I think we'll move on now to Through the Wardrobe. Sorry, I'm looking around me to see what is next. The garment I'm knitting in my Through the Wardrobe is my Herbarium jumper by NCL Knits. I'm knitting this in Eden Cottage yarns in her Apricot Tulip colourway. This is it here. It's her tempo. Her tempo base. It's 75% wool and 25% nylon. I love this yarn. I think if I was only to buy one yarn ever again, it would be Eden Cottage yarns. I love them. I love the colours and the feel of the yarn. Now this is where I was the last day. This little marker here, it's a little drink me marker. This is it here. It's got a nice lace front, and the back then is just a plain stockinette. I'm nearly finished all the increases on this, and this is a really enjoyable knit. I had been saying the last day that I was finding it hard to get time to work on it. I was only working on it on the weekends. Now I made a conscious effort to try and get more done on it from the last day. That's one of the great things, I suppose, about the podcast. It sort of makes you work on these projects a bit more. But I snuck a few rounds in the evenings on it, probably when I should have been working, but it's very hard to resist working on this. I'm really enjoying that knit. I have been planning my next garments in my Through the Wardrobe. I've been planning some cardigans. Now I have been looking at the I think it's the Bentley cardigan and the Southwell cardigan by Olive Knits. I've been looking at both of those, and the other pattern is in the Yokes book by Kate Davies, and I've been looking at the Fintry design in this one. Here, Fintry cardigan. I've been looking for just a go-to cardigan that you can just throw on over a dress or a pair of jeans, and this Fintry cardigan looks like it could be lovely. There are a few others in this book that I'm planning on knitting, but right now I just want something that it can be a go-to cardigan in my wardrobe. So that's what I'm planning for my Through the Wardrobe. That's all I have in Through the Wardrobe at the moment. So, treasure trove. After the last day after I was talking to you, I had a couple of items ordered that hadn't just quite arrived, and one of those was this skein of yarn by Fine Fish Yarns. Terry is another Irish indie dyer. This is her card here, and I got this again on the last Irish Dye Junkies yarn night. Their theme had been Halloween. This one is called Stoker, and it's her shimmer sock base. It's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. So it's got a nice glitter to it. I've been wanting to keep this yarn up, but I was holding off. I wanted to show you first. It's beautiful greys and purples and pinks. This is going to be, this will be socks, definitely, I think now. Got this. It's lovely. I do know that they have their next yarn night, Irish Dye Junkies on Facebook is what you'll find them, and their next yarn night is coming up on the 5th of November. So if you want to check them out and see, there's four of the Irish yarn dyers. There is Ellie and Ada, Dublin Dye Company, Fine Fish Yarns, and Green Elephant Yarns, and they have yarn nights. And the next one is coming up on the 5th of November. So if you're interested in that, do check them out. The other new addition I have gotten is this Eldenwood Craft bag. I've had my eye on these bags for a while, and been keeping an eye out, and I saw Emma was, it's a little tag in there, I saw Emma was making bags again after the summer, and she had an update, and I kept an eye out for it. I managed to get this nice deer one, and it's a lovely size of a project bag. I'll get a garment into this, or a large size shawl, and it's, so I was really pleased with that purchase. So I had been telling you in the last episode that I was going to the knitting and stitching show in Dublin with some friends. Excuse me while I just have a drink of coffee. I was going to that with some friends. I didn't buy too much yarn. A lot of the Irish yarn dyers, they did have some yarn there. I happen to have a lot of their colourways already, so I didn't pick up any new yarn. I just picked up some more needles, some more Knit Pro Zings for some socks, and what I did pick up leads me on into my stitching section. I want to do some freehand embroidery, so I picked up some cotton, just some plain cream cotton. It's got a slight little freckle in it. It's just some plain cotton, and I want to freehand draw the design on this, and then use just a selection of different embroidery stitches on it, and embellish it with maybe some little pieces of fabric and some beads. And I happen to pick up some little beads for that. It's those there. Just in a selection of different colours, and then just a selection of different little fabrics to embellish it. This lovely, I love this lovely paisley pink. Again, in this it's just cotton. And that's just, I got some little decorative hoops then, just for displaying them in. You can just hang them up. That's what I want to start a little bit in the stitching section. So hopefully the next day I'll have a little bit more on that for you. The next section that we can move on to is the design corner. The last day I had been on the mannequin was Fanula, and she was coming up for a release. She is released. You'll find her now on Ravelry, Fionnuala. This here is Deirdre. She's currently been test knitted in my Ravelry group, but we'll take a look at Fionnuala. This here is Fionnuala, and I can show her to you now up close, so I can. Fionnuala is, she's a triangular lace shawl. She's beaded. See the beads? I've used triangular beads just in a clear. I think the colour code for these triangular beads was 1151. I'm not sure, I'd have to double check that, but it is on my project page anyway for them. So it is. This sample was knit in Life in the Long Grass. That's again another Irish indie dyer, and Caroline is based in Cork. This is her silky merino 4-ply, 50% merino and 50% silk. Fionnuala is the first shawl in my Ladies of Legend collection. It's a new collection I'm putting together over the coming months. There's 6 shawls in the collection, and they're all based and named after the female characters in some of the legends I would have grown up listening to. So Fionnuala is based on the Children of Lur, and the legend goes that they were her and her brothers were turned into swans. So that's where I took my inspiration for this shawl. So you'll see it's a nice big size. It's just the halfway there, and again this has lace worked on it on both sides, and the beads are added on again both sides, both right and wrong sides, and that's it blocked out. So that's Fionnuala for you. The last day I had been talking to you about the Dying of the Light, and I'm not sure whether I mentioned that it was based on the Dylan Thomas poem Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. I wasn't quite sure whether I had mentioned that or not. That is, I'm just waiting on another skein of yarn to add into that, and then it'll be heading for test knit, and it's written up and it's ready to go. And Deirdre is the second shawl in the Ladies of Legend collection, and the third one is on the needles currently. The sample is being knit up of that. So there's lots really going on in the design corner of it, of Knitterarium at the minute. And I think, yeah, that's it. Nothing really more to say on that. I think that is all I have for you today. Yeah, just checking my notes here. Yeah, I've gone through everything that I wanted to show you. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Happy knitting.